Hello there and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to be specifically showing you the camera controls on the Typhoon H Plus because I think these are the best camera controls I have used on any drone. It's as simple as that. And I'm going to explain to you just in this video about two things. How the remote controller controls the gimbal and the two ways that you can use this to fly the aircraft and get some absolutely fantastic footage. Because as I've already said, I honestly think this has got the best camera controls of any drone I have used. Okay, so just to explain a few things before we get into it, this is the Yuneec Typhoon H Plus fitted with the C23 camera. That is the 1-inch 100 megabits a second model up to 4K 60 frames a second. Now, the camera on the Yuneec H Plus has a full 360-degree rotation, which means it has no stops and no limits. So it will rotate entirely, no matter what the aircraft is doing. And this means you're able to do some very, very interesting stuff with the gimbal controls, because the ST16 remote allows you to control the pitch of the gimbal, which is up and down, and we'll look at that when it's on in a minute, but also allows you to control the yaw behavior and not only keep it in follow mode or set it in free mode, so no matter what the aircraft does, it just stays straight, but it allows you to set it to do stuff automatically. And what I mean by that is set the position of the knob and the gimbal will continue to move automatically. And that means you're able to concentrate on flying the aircraft and not hold a gimbal wheel on your hand. So that is why I think this camera and this drone in RC has the best camera controls I've used. So let's take a look at it in action. Okay, so first of all, let's just show you the switches and functionality. On the back of the remote controller, on the left-hand side, you have the gimbal control wheel. Now, this is a really nice large wheel. It's quite stiff, actually, but this controls the pitch of the camera up and down. So simply, when you have it in up, it goes up, and you have it at down, the camera points straight down. Nice and simple. Now, what I do like about this is that it's not sprung loaded, it doesn't return to center, and it's actually very nicely weighted as well, so it's really, really smooth. Now, that is it in the normal control mode. You've then got some additional controls here for the gimbal. This switch controls how that knob controls the gimbal, and I'll show you that in a second. The next switch is pan mode, and this controls the pan or the yaw of the gimbal in relation to this knob here. Now, with this switch in the top position and this switch in the top position, this simply controls the gimbal pitch. This is disabled, and the camera on the Yuneec H Plus will be in follow mode. So when you rotate the drone, the camera will follow and it will not remain free. If you set this switch to the bottom position, it changes this knob into sort of a rate control. So when it's in the center position, the gimbal doesn't move. When you move it up from the middle, the gimbal will start to go up. Depending on how high you've moved the knob is how fast the gimbal moves, and if you push it down, it'll start to push it down. So it also means that when you flick it into that mode, the camera goes above horizontal as well, so you can see it's now pointing up at the sky. So if I move the control knob back to the middle position, there, nothing's moved. If I now move it below center and leave it, you can see the camera starts to pan down, or pitch down I should say, towards the ground. And if I move it back to center, it stops, and then if I move it up and leave it up, it will start to move. And the real cool thing about this is you don't have to hold your finger on it. So if you wanted a really nice slow pitch from straight on to down, you would simply put the switch in the bottom position, move it into the desired speed, and you can leave go, and the camera will automatically pitch down for you. And that is one of the things I really do like about the control. And then if you want to move it into normal control mode, you simply flick it back to the top, and then it is in position mode, so no matter what the position of the knob, it follows. So if I put it in the middle now, it is sort of between horizontal and looking straight down. If I put it to the bottom, it goes to down. So it switches the control knob from a position mode to a rate control, in the sense of when it's on center, it doesn't move. When you move it above the center, it goes up. Depending on how far you move it, depends how fast the gimbal moves. So again, if I flick it right to the top, it moves at full speed to up, and if I flick it right down, it moves to right speed. But if I want to stop it at any point, you just move it back to center. So that's the control mode for the pitch, and again, it is very, very handy. The real gem in this is the control mode for yaw, because it means you're able to set the gimbal to pan around automatically whilst you're concentrating on flying the aircraft. Now, as I've said, with the second switch, which is called pan mode, in the top option, this knob here does nothing controls at all, and the gimbal will follow the yaw of the aircraft. When you set the switch to the middle position, it allows you to control the position of the gimbal with this knob. And again, it's a position mode, exactly the same as the knob on the back with the switch in the top position. So if I put it straight down, it rotates the gimbal 180 degrees backwards. If I put it to quarter past, it goes 245, and if I put it to quarter to, it goes the other way. So it's not in a rate mode, it's simply in a follow mode, but with it following the knob depending on the position of the knob. It's also worth noting at this point, it is still in follow mode on the aircraft. So when you rotate the aircraft, so if I pick him up and turn it, it will follow the leg and stay in the position. So the gimbal won't stay in the direction of the position you leave it. It will just simply stay in the direction in relation to the aircraft itself, just as it does in the top position. When you do fire it back in the top position, it points straight again and in follow mode. Now, the real gem, and this is the bit I absolutely love, is when you flick the switch into the bottom position, and it then enters that rate mode option like we had on the back. So if I start putting the knob, say, towards 10 past, and leave it there, you can see the gimbal starts to pan around on its own. And it means that you can set it to do this and then fly the aircraft and use it to control the main body of the aircraft whilst the gimbal remains pitching. The thing with this mode as well to understand is it is actually in free mode, so no matter what you do with the yaw of the aircraft, it won't affect the rotation of the gimbal and it won't stop it rotating either. Now, if I stop it there and move it back to center, it stops what the gimbal is doing, and if I wanted it to slowly or fast rotate the other way, I would simply just move the knob that way and the gimbal will automatically start to rotate that way by itself. And as I said at the start of the video, this gimbal is 360. There is no limits on this, there's no restrictions, so it will keep going around and around. Now, when the switch is in this bottom position, and if I just do that to put the camera center, the gimbal is in free mode. So at this point, it will not follow the yaw rotation of the aircraft. So although I've got it pointing forward at the moment, if I rotated the aircraft, it would stay pointing forward. It doesn't actually follow it. And then if you want to use the rate control, you would then simply start to use this knob here alongside that switch. So really, that is the main gimbal controls on this aircraft. And I have to say, I honestly believe they are some of the best gimbal controls I've used on any aircraft out there. They're not particularly impressive in the sense of it's anything unlike anybody else has done. It's actually a very, very simple idea that works extremely well. You'll have the option to set it to either position or rate, and the knobs are fixed with a nice bit of weight behind them, so you don't have to hold them in position. They will just stay there when you let go, and it means that you can concentrate on flying the aircraft rather than worry about keeping this knob in the back on the right position, because I do find on some of the smaller aircraft, when you're trying to hold it at a constant speed, it isn't easy to do, especially if you're panning from down to up, you know. And if I set it to that position there and I go, right, I want it to come up automatically as I fly towards something, so you want it to do like that reveal look as it does that, you don't have to worry about it. It will do it for you. So you can set the gimbal to the speed you want and then it will do it for you. It really is that easy. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you've seen, please do subscribe to the channel. There's a button in the bottom right hand corner, and I will do another video again soon. And that is it for this video. If you've liked what you've seen, please do check out, we have over 150 videos on this channel, covering everything from DJI right through to the Pixhawk 2 and various other things. We've also got them separated into playlists as well that help you navigate to the ones that might be relevant for you. If you like what you see on the channel, please do subscribe. There is a subscribe button in the bottom right hand corner of every video, and by doing that you will receive updates on any videos that we release in the future. Finally, there are some links to the products we talk about in the description for each video. I would really appreciate it if you are going to buy a product, if you would like to buy via those links. By supporting the channel, it allows us to keep buying products to be able to talk to you guys about. That's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll do another video again soon.